Right, welcome back to the gym. It's just us in here at the moment, but we would love to see you all soon. Today I'm going to run through a few exercises using our suspension straps. This brand is a TRX, but anything you have is fine. They're just called a suspension trainer. Ropes with handles, they are adjustable, so you can change the length and do a few different exercises, which is pretty neat. I think that if you were to have one piece of exercise equipment, this would be it, because you can challenge all the different parts of your body and you don't need to keep increasing the size of the weights or the resistance of the bands. You just keep changing your body position to add more or less gravity. Really simple. They are designed for use at home. I have chosen the door that I'm using very carefully because it opens outwards, which is much better, so you don't get any surprises. They come with it's called a door anchor. So you just throw this big block of foam over the top of the door and then it can't come back through, which is why we stand on the right side of the door. No surprises. Really simple. They cost 20 bucks. So suspension trainer, if you don't already have one, I highly recommend it. They also come with a much longer cord, so you can throw it over the rafter in a garage or something much more sturdy if you don't trust your doors, like I don't. Many of mine at home. Really simple. They don't have to be yellow and black. Any of them are absolutely fine for what they do. I think they're excellent. So, onwards. You throw it through the top of the door, make sure the door is closed, and then you're away. First exercise. Nice one to get started. These ropes do move a little bit, which is quite good, so you can't just use your preferred arm. You have to share the load. Really good for your grip strength, which is underrated just while you're holding on. Incidentally, don't let go. Walk your feet forward, and then you're just lowering your body down and then back up again. So the first one we're doing are some pull-ups. If you want to make it harder, you take your feet further in. And if you want to make it easier, reduce gravity and move your feet further away. Really simple. And it's just until you get tired. So if you're really close to the door, you do less and you get tired more quickly. If you're time poor, that's a pretty simple way to get strong and fit quickly. Everyone likes that. Next one. So facing away from the door, starting off with the handles together just so that you can see they're at the same length. Arms out to the side, elbows stay close to your body, and you're doing some push-ups. You have to keep your elbows close, otherwise the bands get really annoying, and I think it's better for our push-up technique. So it's a really good way to reinforce technique. Nylon rubbing on your arms. Nice and slow and controlled. If that's too easy, you can make the bands just a little bit longer and then it changes the lever. Simple. And I think these are pretty tough as far as push-ups go because they're a little bit unstable, a little bit shaky. If you want to make it easier, you just move your feet away from the door. So I really think that anyone can use these. You might not be able to do every exercise. If it doesn't feel good, please don't do it. And when you're ready, let's go back to the pull-ups. Nice and slow and controlled each way. And when you're tired, back to our push-ups. There's a lot of incidental core strength with these as well, just because you're having to hold your body in a nice straight line, like a plank position, which is good to engage a few core muscles without having to think about it. If you don't maintain some stability through your core, you just kind of sink in and it won't really work. Which is really nice to be able to train your core without constantly thinking about correcting your posture, drawing things in, holding on, engaging. Can be a bit much, which is why I like this. There are also some pretty challenging targeted core exercises you can do. You can check them out on YouTube, probably under TRX, which is this brand. That's the most common one out there, TRX core exercises. They're pretty full on. I prefer to stick with these ones. Very incidental core. One more time with the pull-ups. We'll do 3 sets of each. Let's do the last one of push-ups. Alright, so we're going to pick on our upper body today. So they're 2 really nice ones to start with, just to get a feel for how these work, how you can get the most out of them. So the next ones, I'm just going to shorten the straps a little bit, which is very easy to do. I should sell these, happy to take your commission if you enjoy them. So the next one, starting with both handles together, palms facing up. We're just going to really pick on our biceps, on our arm gardens. So before we were using lots of muscles, so we're using our arms, our shoulders and our back, so you can stand quite a long way forward. This time we're going to be picking more on our biceps, which are not nearly as big as a lot of people like to think they are. So don't stand as far forward. Less gravity for smaller muscles. Hands in front of you, and you're pulling so that your hands finish just outside eye level. Your elbows stay in the same position. So you're not pulling your elbows by your side and then coming in. Your elbows stay in front of you, just in front of your ribs, and your hands finish in line with your eyes, with your palms facing upwards. Nice and slow and controlled. Well, that's enough for me. So, next one. This time you're leaning forwards again, away from the door. I like to keep the handles together throughout this one. So hands up overhead in that kind of Superman position. Handles together. And now you're lowering your body so that your head comes to the handles. Top of your head meets the handles. Try and keep your elbows relatively close together for this one. It's a very small movement as we're picking on our triceps. Nice and slow and controlled. And plenty of incidental core. Okay, now back to those, the first one in this series, which is the biceps. So remember, your feet aren't too far forwards. Nice and wide across your collarbones, so no rounding of your shoulders. That's key for just about every exercise that I can think of. Can't think of any exceptions. Wide across your collarbones is a good rule. Elbows in the same position. Hands finishing outside your eye line. Nice straight line from your feet to your shoulders. No poking your ribs, no arching your back. No poking your chin, nice and long through the back of your neck. Okay. I'm finding these ones pretty tough. Really need some cooling here one day. So once again, facing away from the door. Superman position. Handles together. Lowering your head towards your hands. Try and keep your elbows close-ish together, easier said than done. Just a small movement. Nice and controlled. Okay, we have one more of each of these. And then everyone can go outside for a walk and see if they can spot a whale. Let me know if you do. Eyes peeled. Okay, one more round of our bicep curls. So, same as before. Hands up. Elbows stay in the same position, hands finished outside your eyes. And then nice straight arms, and then back up again. Wide across your collarbones, no poking your ribs. If this is the first time you've used the straps, maybe just do one set. One repeat of each exercise. And then in a couple of days' time, you can do 2, building up to doing 3 or even 4 repeats of each exercise. Each time until you get tired, or your technique starts to change. One of the 2. Last one, for me. Okay. Last exercise, and then we'll have a nice little stretch because it's one thing you do really well with these ropes. They're really good for stretching on. So that Superwoman position, arms overhead, handles together, lowering your head towards your hands. Nice and controlled, nice and slow. You can do it with separate handles, but then you kind of have to control both sides, and it's much harder. So I like to Keep them together, rest one against the other. Might be cheating, who knows. Last one for me. Okay, while we're in this position, we'll do the first stretch. So for this stretch, instead of having the weight on your hands, you've got all the weight on your legs. So your hands are really loose, and when you're ready, you just take the arms out to the side, and you gently stretch across the front of your chest on one side and the other. You're allowed to have a little bit of a play with this one. As long as the weight is on your feet and not on your hands, you can move your hands out to the side, gently ease into it. You have to be really gentle with stretching. You're trying to get muscles to relax, not forcing them to relax. You have to ease into it. You should be able to hold the position for about 30 seconds to a minute. If you're having to have a rest before then you're just being too aggressive and you need to ease off. So you can have a little bit of a play, see where it feels like it needs a little bit of a stretch. A gentle stretch. And then, this stretch I really like too, really nice for your back, for the sides of your ribs, lots of areas you can get into, because these are really tough. These ropes have a loading tolerance of about 1,500 kilos, so I should be able to hold my weight. You can really hang off them. So you get to poke your hip out in one direction, stretch up that side of your back, move around a little bit, see where it feels like it needs a nice stretch. And then when you're ready, you can change sides. Opening up your ribs. You can just hold the position if you like. I quite like to gently move. Again in that water skiing position. Just gently swapping sides. Come back to that first stretch. We'll do these one more time each because it's quite a nice way to finish. So, all the weight on your feet, feel nice and stable, arms nice and wide. And just easing into the stretch. Stretching should make you feel good, as should the strength. The strength is a long-term investment. Stretching is a nice little short-term reward at the end. Once again, other side. This time straight back, head between the elbows, arms overhead. Reach your arms as far forwards as you can, and then you can go back to one side and then the other, a couple of times each. Okay, so that's how to do some upper body strength work with a suspension trainer. We'll have to do some lower body stuff soon. See you soon.